Happy birthday, Mr. Russell.
Appreciate you.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Another year, more life, more prosperity. Can't complain. Blessed to be alive, man.
Awesome. Can I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, what did you struggle with that people didn't see?
That's a good question. I say patience. You know, we live in this popcorn generation, so everybody just feel like things should be instant. Even myself, I get caught up in it. But you know, I know that things take time, and you need patience to complete goals. You know, you do it fast and end fast.
All right. Well, speaking of goals, in the last 5 years, what do you think success means, like now versus then?
I'd say, you know, or my early 20s, success was more so just like completing school, running my business, my Exclusiveekicks business. That would be the main thing I'd say. You know, it was more so planning to where I'm at now, like in my later 20s. So I would say more so success looks like me now, for real, versus 5 years ago. You know, just because I was planning for these next 5 years and I executed on it. So now I'm like where I wanted myself to be. Now I'm just planning for the next, you know, 30, for real, 2030s type.
You spoke of accomplishments and goals.
For sure.
Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all can, I don't even know what to call this, but you can just, the award rack, the motivation rack, you know. But a lot of my accomplishments over the past couple of years, I graduated high school from Indian Creek, private school in Crownsville, Maryland. From there, I went to Loyola University in Baltimore. I studied mechanical engineering for 2 years. Figured out engineering wasn't for me, a little challenging, so I switched over to business. Transferred to Bowie State, go Bulldogs, shout out Bowie. In 2020 during the pandemic, and I studied business administration, focused on marketing, entrepreneurship. So I did my thing there for about 3 years. So college took me about 5 full years to finish. So that's my Bowie State degree there. And then there's a couple other accomplishments over the past year. I've done a few different pitch competitions at Bowie, University of Maryland, Community College of Baltimore, Department of Energy. I had a technology commercialization intern. This is me right here when I went to Peru about a year ago to meet the ambassador. I work in defense tech, so I'm an international capture management associate. So I work in defense tech, so that's why y'all probably always see me talking about tech and AI and stuff like that, because that's what I like to talk about, really. That's my, you know, passion, I guess you can say. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm just started my MBA program too at LSU. So wish me luck on that. That's gonna be a new journey. Journey already spanking me, but the company paying for it, so we gonna go ahead and take advantage of that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I like to come here, and I feel like everybody should have this in their house, you know, just to reflect on their accomplishments, just so I can see what I've done over the past, you know, my early 20s, and just get motivation. Sometimes I need a little motivation. I need something to just remind me that I'm him. You know, I know everybody getting them phases where they just not, you know, too confident in themselves. So I might just come back here and just, like, you know, you really did that. Like, dang, on who? These is just all, like, my passes from a whole bunch of events. Yeah, go Commanders, you hear me? Past events I've been to, pitch competitions, different trade shows. So, like, I can see this one. There's a couple cool ones in here. So, like, this one I went to Saudi Arabia for World Defense Show. Peru, that's why I went to Peru for a defense show too, like I said. So yeah, you know, a lot of good accomplishments here.
What was your biggest mistake in business so far, and how do you stay disciplined when motivation isn't there?
For sure. I say my biggest mistake in business was really probably during 2022, not paying attention to the macro environment. So like politics, war, interest rates, all those type of things, and how that affects, you know, clientele, your consumers. Because at the time, running Exclusiveekicks, reselling business, I'm a consumer-based business. So if the consumer doesn't have disposable income, then that affects my business. So during 2022, we had interest rate hikes. We had a lot of money flowing in from the pandemic, you know, stimulus checks flowing in. So the Fed raised interest rates. They had to suck all that money out the economy, and then we had the Ukraine, Russia going on, and the market took a hit. I wasn't following all that as much as I should back then. You know, I was going off supply and demand in a sense, but you know, when the consumer doesn't have money or interest rates are going up, you know, things are becoming more expensive. People not gonna have money to spend on shoes or collectible items or things like that. So that was probably one of the biggest lessons I learned you got to pay attention to the overall macro environment, macro and micro environment, and how that affects your clientele. And as far as how I stay disciplined when motivation isn't there, at this point, it's just muscle memory for me. Like, I've trained myself to have a schedule and do what I need to do weekly, monthly, even when I don't feel like it, it's just muscle memory. So it's like, that kicks in, Or, like I said, I take a look here and look back at some of my accomplishments to keep me going and remind myself of who I am and just my future goals for the most part. But mainly muscle memory. You gotta train yourself to get up and go to the gym or work on your side project, But once you train yourself, it's like clockwork,
So J-Raz, how did you build your portfolio at such a young age?
I say it all goes back to research, research strategy and execution. I got a video on my YouTube talking about that. I go a little bit more in depth, so check that out. But research. I was always into business, entrepreneurship since a young age, and I always was looking for somewhere to put my money, invest my money, whether that was sneakers, collectible items, things that just grew in value over time. And once the pandemic hit, I got into stocks. Pretty much, I came across stocks and investing, and it just went from there. I always liked tech. So really just to keep it brief, I started with like big tech, so your Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and then like after about 3 years of just doing ETFs and the Mag 7, I ventured into other companies. So dollar cost averaging every month into those businesses, working overtime, finding money just to invest, and that's how I started building my portfolio. So my business, I have my stock portfolio, and I recently just purchased my first property about 2 years ago now. So that all encompasses, I say, my portfolio, my net worth, things like that. But like I said, strategy, looking in the area you in, as far as real estate, make sure you're getting a good value, an undervalued property, so you can build some equity in that. And with stocks, equities, researching companies, balance sheets, income statements, listen to earnings reports, and just being in the industry that or you're familiar with. Well, for me, it's tech, AI. That's kind of my lane. So and then having good parents, people to motivate you. And I listen a lot too. Like, I don't think I know everything. I take advice from people, younger, older. So I try to learn from everybody and take good nuggets from people, so I can just add that to my own tool bag, my own tool set. A smart man learns from his mistake. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes.
So what are you most bullish on for the future?
AI, baby. AI is the future. If you ain't in it, you need to get in it. It's the next revolution, just like the industrial revolution. We had the internet boom. We had the cloud boom. Now we got the AI boom, and AI is changing the world. The productivity we're seeing. Some companies are already seeing an ROI on their investment, like Meta. So I'm definitely excited for AI. I guess that would be the main thing. This is our generation. This is Gen Z, Gen Alpha way of getting rich, I guess you can say, because our older parents, our older generation, they had real estate when it was $100,000 for a 5-bedroom home. Now we paying $1 million for it. So we can't get off that no more. Or crypto back in 08, 09, or 2013, I think, for crypto, Bitcoin. You can still buy it now, but you ain't getting it at $8 back in the day. Or mainly real estate is what I see a lot of people complaining about. But the cost of living is so high now. So what we making the same my parents was making it like 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, but it can't afford too much because inflation and things are high. So I definitely believe AI is going to bridge that gap. If you on game already, then you already know. But if you're not, I'll definitely say do research now. Go to my YouTube channel, because it's a lot of investment going into it. And if you can invest in a lot of these companies now in their early stages, you can definitely get some good ROI. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would definitely say it's one of my top 3 stock picks right now is Nebius. It's an AI data center play, full stack. So that's the software, the networking, and the hardware, so the GPUs that run AI. So the ChatGPT they need GPUs, they need all that type of stuff. So Nebius, I would say AMD slash Nvidia. Those are semiconductor companies. They produce the GPUs that can handle the AI workloads. And then the third one, I say Meta. Meta's still a good buy here. AI is definitely going to enhance their business with personalized ads. For the most part, just being able to monetize that. They have over like 350 billion users a month on all their platforms. You got WhatsApp, you got Instagram, you got Facebook. So Meta's gonna always be a good buy right now. But AI, that's what I've been learning a lot. I've been locked into AI for right now, for the most part. Yeah. So that's what I say with more bullish on. You know. So yeah, but now we in the this is the lab. This is where everything happens. So we got the setup right here. This is where I log in on the mornings, get my work done, lock in. I got the TV up here. I might be watching some of my stock videos. I got some of my sneaker collection back here. I ain't really been buying too much sneakers, so I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. But I do need to cop. There's some things I want to cop. There's just so many drops. I got my poster here, a Billboard poster. I got this at my graduation party, and yeah, just some photos of me. That's pitch competition at UMD, and then that's just me at SneakerCon DMV. My first biggest sneaker event I did, so that was definitely a big accomplishment for myself.
Wrapping this vlog up, you have any closing remarks?
Man, appreciate y'all that made it this far in the video. Um, Shoot, just keep going, keep grinding, stay consistent, research, strategize, execute, man. And J Russ, happy B Day. Excited to see where you're gonna be at 5 years from now, 10 years from now.